It's really, really fun to hear these kind of cool stories. All right, Mike, we're going to continue on with our 2021 because it is our early release and our new release show. This is new this week. We're talking about 3 flex pays, and this is now NGC, the 2021 perfect West Point Mint early release silver eagle dollar coin with the flag core. You do get a little pouch. By the way, everything comes with a certificate of authenticity. I did not explain that earlier, and that's important because you want to make sure it's the real deal. Mike, what makes this one significant?
Well, NGC, we have the NGC, of course, and you saw that we had the Liberty Core there. This is an extra special designation. First of all, the core that you see there, that flag core, I'm the only one that can sell flag core. Okay, so you have to buy NGC flag core specifically and exclusively from me, all right? Specifically and exclusively from me. Mint State 70, absolutely perfect. The other key designation, you see the heraldic eagle up there, it'll be type 1, it'll say heraldic eagle type 1, is the early release part. The early release part of this. Because early release means that NGC has to have that in the first 30 days in-house. So it's the early release. It's the first coins that are released. We have talked about this extensively, that the United States Mint is only making this heraldic eagle, the type 1, for 6 months. We have also talked about extensively now over the last 2 shows the fact that the United States Mint is already sold out of the first 60 days of production, in essence, all right? So to get the early release is to buy coins that are in essence already sold out, if that makes sense. To get coins that are already sold out, that are irreplaceable because they're that coveted early release. So in other words, they're the first coins that are put out. They're going to struggle to keep up. They're going to continue to make these coins, but none of them are going to match that early release that you're going to have with that first release out of that first 30 days is critically important to their collectability, and NGC is designating that, is going to designate that on the label itself. I think that's really, 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 really important for you to understand, is they are going to guarantee that it's from that first 30 days, and that is something that is beyond anything that you could possibly expect with that, is the fact that they are going to be able to get that early coin. That is going to be more desirable. It's going to be more valuable. It's going to be significantly rarer. It's going to be all those other things, and this coin's going to be out of that early release. It's going to be perfect, and it's going to be in our exclusive flag core as well. And I think that's the fascinating part of this, and then you'll have the opportunity to get the type 2 as well when it comes out.
Right. So you want to make sure you keep track of that because
right.
Being able to get your hands on that type 2 early release is going to be you want that matching story, because it is so historically significant when it comes to the U.S. Mint and what they're doing this year. It's unprecedented. I mean, they've never, ever done anything like that before. And the Eagle program's been around since 1986. And so everyone was all pumped about, oh my gosh, they're going to change the design and first time in 35 years. And then they do this mini release. So you want to get your hands on this one. You want to make sure you keep checking it back on hsn.com. Do you know when you think the early release of the Type 2 will be out in this version?
We're hoping, well, it's going to have to be July. I mean, when they release that, right. Because it's the first 30 days. The ER, the early release, is the first 30 days, and that's so critically important to the collectability. And that's what sets it apart. That's what sets apart this coin right here from all the other coins, is that early release designation that you're going to have on this. The fact that it's guaranteed out of that first tranche of coins. And they're already selling out. So what the United States Mint is, they do various rolling allocations, as do the distributors. So you have allocation 1, release 1, release 2, release 3, release 4. There's going to be probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 12 releases of these coins. Well, the early release is basically a release 1. is what it comes down to. That first release is all that is going to be covered. That first allocation, the first bit of coins that are out there is going to be into that designation. And so that's always going to hold special sway with collectors, as does our phenomenal flag core that we're doing. Remember, we had the New Year's Eve edition flag core, which we only sold on New Year's Eve, of course. And this right now is the only way you can get flag core coin from us, is going to be in the early release. There's going to be flag core is going to be in the early release. It's the only way to be able to get those coins, and that I think is really, really, really important. It's also certified perfect. And I think it's very difficult for me to convey the rarity and collectability of this Type 1 coin, of this, in essence, the first coin of the year, the last coin in the American Silver Eagle series with that heraldic eagle. Look, when President Ronald Reagan signed the Liberty Coin Act into law in 1985, and they started releasing the coin and producing the coin in 1986, it looked like this. And it's looked like this every single solitary year since then. This is an end of an era. It's literally once in a lifetime. Because by law, while they're changing the design this year, by law, they cannot change the design again for another 25 years at minimum. 25 years at minimum. So for collectors, this design change is, like I said, quite literally once in a lifetime. And the collecting world and the collectors at large have responded in numbers unlike anything anticipated by the United States Mint. When we anticipated that the 2020 coin was going to be the most popular Silver Eagle in the history of the United States Mint, which is what we absolutely positively anticipated, because we saw that. I saw it. It was the number one eagle in sales in the history of all the years I've been doing it. And I've been selling this coin since 1986. The 2021 is going to exceed that, and they're only going to make it half the time. The same thing with the Type 2. They're only going to make it for half the year. And so what the United States Mint has done, intentionally or unintentionally, I have no idea which, has created to the two greatest collectibles in the entire Silver Eagle series, the greatest mass collectibles that they could possibly do, and created rarity, once again, either intentionally or unintentionally, by the fact that they're making these coins for 6 months and 6 months only.
Right.
So now with this coin, not only are you getting a coin that's made for 6 months and 6 months only, you're getting one that comes from the first 30 days of release. Okay, that's the early release. That's that additional designation. That's the important part of this. That's the critical and crucial part of this, to be able to get that early release in there as well in the Type 1. So you have the last coin, you have the first of the last coins, you've got it in the exclusive flag core, you've got it in State 70 perfect, you've got that entire thing put together. So now you're guaranteed, I think, one of the most spectacular collectibles ever made by the United States Mint. Well, I know it is. I mean, already the demand has been exceeded everything we thought it was going to be, plus. And so we are getting caught short on coins, much like the United States Mint is. Well, Suzanne, the today's special, 13,500 coins, annexed, right? Mm-hmm. Sold out by, what, it's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yes.
13,500 gone. Our today's only value, the TDO that we had, which was the flag core New Year's edition, I think we sold 4,000 coins in like 2 airings. It has been truly, unbelievably spectacular in terms of demand, and so to be able to get unique coins that are going to be early release, they're going to be certified absolutely 100% perfect, all of that is critically, critically important to collectability, and you better get them while I still have them. I'm trying to look. I think my entire, my entire inventory on this doesn't amount to a couple of thousand coins.
Well, and again, here's what's I find even more fascinating is the buildup to this year was already huge, you guys, simply because they were changing the design. And honestly, we thought all the way up until very recently, oh, it's going to be the new Eagle in Flight, which is the new design. In fact, we're going to get back to that in just a second, and you'll see it. And so the buildup was huge. That was just crazy and huge anyway, because of this design change. Everybody wanted the old design because you want the end of one and you want the start of a new one. That's really crucial. Well, then they do this little mini mint or minting of this Type 1, Type 2. So that's what Mike's saying. It is set the numismatic world in a tizzy and collectors in a tizzy because of how crazy rare the circumstance is. What does that mean to you and me? These are highly, highly collectible. Like Mike said, or I said a moment ago, on our Today's Special that we had a couple days ago, it was a completely different deal. We'll do something similar here in just a second, so stick with me. But I bought 2 sets. I mean, that's how significant this has happened. And I was excited about getting them anyway, simply because going from the old to the new. And then there's like the old, there's the new old, and now there's the new new. And so that combination is so exciting. And again, here's your chance. Here's your opportunity to get it in this early release. Now, of course, keep your eyes open, check.com as we get closer to July, because when Mike offers the early release in the Type 2 design, then you're gonna get that matching one to go back to this. So it's really very crucial. You wanna get this one because it's the end of this one, and you wanna get the next one because it's the beginning of the new one, and you want to match that early release. So you want to keep checking back to make sure you get the sister or the Type 2 of this one when Mike releases it in hopefully towards July. All right, we're going to wrap up on that, guys. I'm super pumped about this next one too, because it gives you one of the most unique opportunities that we ever offer in the history of